And there you have it. Now I got a big old mess to clean up. So I go edit this video. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Easy's Rebuilds. I'm Easy E. Welcome to my neighborhood. Right behind me, I got that 2006 Pontiac Torrent, the red one. Y'all noticing, y'all been watching these videos, if you're not new to the channel, that the car has been getting parts taken off a little bit at a time because this was my parts car for the black Pontiac Torrent and the Chevy Equinox, which all was 2006s. We believe that's a 2006 Pontiac Torrent over there, 2006 Pontiac Torrent, and Equinox was a 2006. If y'all new to this channel, go check out the videos on the Pontiac Torrent, the Chevy Equinox. But let's see how far we can get down in this video, because I got to pull this motor out. Not in this video, I don't got enough time today, because it's a rainy day and I don't have a shop. I work a full-time job. So let's go see what we got to do. So, like I said, she's in the garage. She's looking kind of sad. The hood is sitting over there. Y'all see in the background, the hood was already crumpled. It wasn't even really on the car. But she's missing the front bumper, headlights. A lot of stuff got taken off in the process of pulling parts. This is a salvage title car, so that's why she's not getting repaired. Because some be like, why didn't you repair this car? Salvage title. I don't repair all salvage titles. Got to jump through too many hoops. And plus, this damage is way more than I can fix. Goes all the way into the shock tower. You guys can see there. Shock tower has been pushed in, so you have to cut out all this and re-weld all new fender apron in. And I'm not doing all that. Down with salvage title. Even though she do got good motor, low miles, I was to pull this motor out and throw it in the black Pontiac Torrent, because the black Pontiac Torrent need a motor and trans. Then I can get rid of that car. That car, I do believe, got 116,000 miles on the dash. This car has 109,000 miles on the dash. And this motor and trans should be easy to be pulled out, because unlike the Equinox, you can barely squeeze the motor out. But in this one, since the front end is already pretty much gone, I should be able to yank her on out. I'm going to end up cutting the whole front of this car off anyway, because this car is getting scrapped. So y'all can see some of that in this video. I like to get down. Plus I got to disconnect the transmission cooler lines, which are over there, because like I said, I need this transmission. So I get to see how everything comes apart on this one before I jump on the Pontiac Torrent over there, which I cannot cut up, and get everything off that one. So right now, I'm just going to be using some basic tools, a 10 millimeter for sure, to get off all these, get this broken piece of plastic off, so I can get the radiator and AC condenser out. The radiator still got coolant in it. The peacock is stuck. Transmission cooler lines are right here. Gotta get the fans unplugged. But I think I'm gonna rip my Zawzall out and get finished, and cut the rest of this core support off. Once I get that off, I'm just looking around, see what we can do. Got take this breather off. Got this breather from the junkyard a long time ago when I first got this car, so I can get it running, because she would not run without the breather. And there was a hose. This hose was busted, so the car wouldn't stay running. So I got all that on there just to keep it running, because y'all probably asking in the comments how I get all this damage, but yet this is still good. No, that got damaged. That was disintegrated in the accident, so I didn't have the breather box. I had to go buy one. All this was gone. You can see the belt was getting cut up by all the debris down there. So let me jump on into it and stop on talking, because I was told I talked too much by another subscriber. And I told him first I didn't talk enough. But it is what it is. Let's get to work.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares. See me right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free. You know I'm addicted to you, and it's twisted, you've been gifted with the evil voodoo. Got me coming back for more, even when I've been screwed. Dolls full of pins, pierce my heart straight through. I got issues in my head, I like you in my bed, but you keep me on red. Oh, everything is like a test. I better not text or I'll come off desperate.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares. See me right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me?
So if I play dead, will you regret everything that you did, that you said? I don't think you understand what you're doing, and my heart's black and blue from the bruising. I feel like when I'm with you I'm losing. I feel like you think that this amusing, sitting there gaslighting and confusing. Was it me? Is it me? Am I deluded? I'm the one who's always sorry, the conclusion. Even though I offer all of the solutions, I wish you loved me like I love you, it's stupid. When I'm alone with you I never feel lucid. I wish I wasn't struck by Cupid. I wish when I first saw you I knew this. When I'm with you I feel so useless, I feel diluted, my heart's been wounded. Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, maybe you'll get sick of being the monster out of my head, under my bed. Think you're something out of my nightmares. See me right there. But if I lay down and I play dead and I stay dead, then will you get bored of killing me? Then will you get bored of killing me? And will you get bored of killing me? And will you get bored of killing me? And will you get bored of killing me?
I don't know what to say. Still trying to figure out how to pull the motor and the trans out all at one. But I think I could pull it all out in one on this car, because obviously there's no front end, so there's nothing to get in my way. But putting the motor and trans into the other car, I'll probably have to just separate this motor from the transmission when it's out and drop it into that car as two pieces, because it ain't no space to pull the motor and trans out the top when you got the whole core support in the way with the radiator. Because if you watch my last video on the Equinox, me pulling that motor, I had barely enough space just to get the motor out. And on this one, as you can see, you have barely enough space to get the transmission out. If you have the core support in here, that is. Even though the transmission is smaller, but you don't have the space to move the motor forward and get the transmission away from all of this. Brake reservoir, whatever this electronics is, you don't got enough room back there to get it all, to get moving forward. Because up here, since your radiator right here is your core support, but you can get it out without that core support, because you got room to shift the motor over this way. So I have enough room to pull this motor and the trans out. Then on that one, I'm probably pull them out separately. Pull the motor first, then pull the trans. So that's going to take a little bit longer. Then doing it this way. Because this way, like, a little bit faster. I still got to disconnect the axles from the transmission to even pull it on out. I don't know. Guess I should have did that first, because now the ground is wet from coolant, Freon, a little bit of Freon that was left, transmission fluid from the cooler line. But it can be done. Like I said, it's a plate right here. Basically, all the tools you're going to need is a 10 millimeter and a 13 millimeter. Everything is 10s and 13s and 8s. Some 8s, like this reservoir, is an 8 right here. But other than that, all these little ones are 8s. I do believe 8s or 7s. Let's check it out. Here's an 8. Nope, they're all 7s. So my bad. All those little bitty ones are 7s. And you'll need a pair of channel locks. Get your hoses off, of course. And to get the transmission lines off, everybody should know some little clips. This little plastic right here. Push that back. And there's some little clips that you got to pop out. Which I threw them over here in this bucket. Like on mostly all Chevys. These little clips. Pop that clip off. You should be able to pull the hoses off. Before you put the hose back on, put those clips back on there. And just push the hose on there. Lock in place. But everything here is simple. Until you start getting to where you need to pull the motor out. Then you got to get the motor mounts. Transmission mount here. Another transmission mount right there. Motor mount right here. And I do believe there might be one in the back. I don't know. And I do it this way because these cars have a failure point. If y'all work on these, y'all know right there where all the water and corrosion, the water gets up in there and dirt and stuff, that's where a motor mount is at. Not a motor mount, the cradle mount to the frame of the car. And I don't want to drop the cradle on this car. I don't want to drop the cradle on the other car. Because if I start messing with the cradle, then I might have to go to the junkyard and cut out some new brackets. Just like I had to do on the black Equinox right here. Cut out the whole mount off of 2011, a newer car, and have to come onto that car and weld it on back in there so you can get the cradle back up. But like I said, on the Equinox, the black Equinox, the cradle mounts is already messed up. So when I had the motor out, I welded a new cradle mounts in the front, which is kind of hard when you had the transmission in the way. Be easier with the transmission out the way, but it was easy over there because I had no motor. Drill all the spot welds, drop it on off, put the new one up there, weld it back in. Easy as that. But I'm going to see what else I guess I'm going to try to tackle getting the drive axles off. So we can get closer. I still got time. Maybe I can get this motor put out in this video. But let's keep on rocking. Okay, got all that done. And what you would need for this job, for the people who want to know what tools I used to get this all apart. For the axle nut, I used a 34 millimeter. For the strut bolts that go into the knuckle, I used a 21 millimeter. And for the outer tie rod, I used a 19 millimeter. And a big freaking hammer. And you seen on the other side, I used a pry bar to pry off the axle, CV axle. And on this side, I ended up using my forks and got it right behind there and hit it with the hammer, tapped it with the hammer a couple times to dislocate it from the shaft, from the extension shaft, where I messed up on the Equinox. I should have just did that on the Equinox, but I took the whole extension shaft off, so I couldn't get it. Well, I was changing the motor, but still, I could have left the extension shaft, disconnected it from the motor, and left it in the transmission. But I didn't. I took the whole thing apart. So those tools I used. It is another transmission mount behind the transmission over there. So the transmission has 3 mounts. One in the front, one in the back, and one on that side right there. And that's going to be the one that's going to give me the most problems. Because it goes into the firewall, well, it goes into the rail, and you can't get up into this steel frame rail. So I'm going to take the bolts out the top and figure that one on out. But I'm working pretty quick here. So that's out. The motor should be ready, almost ready to pull out. Got to disconnect the fuel line and put these forks back. So I got to get that fuel line disconnected. And some more of these wiring. And this hose is going to the motor. And the heater core hoses. So I don't know what to say. I got to clean up this mess, but I'm plugging it away, figuring out how I'm going to yank it on out. So I still got this transmission mount in the front. That's what I'm thinking about on the other car. Pull the motor out first, then go after the transmission. But I can get to this one since there ain't nothing on the front of the car. Like there's only two, probably a third one up under there. Disconnect that. Then take that off and get that out of there. I'm going to leave all these wires. Still got to take that off. Those should be 13 millimeters. Take this whole assembly off right here. But I'm getting her. This is what I do. That's why I'm Easy E's Rebuilds. I love rebuilding cars. So I catch y'all back after my GoPro charges up. What I tell y'all? I gets down over here. I didn't need to pull the car out the garage because obviously there's no front end on this car. So I just think I can get everything through the front. I got space over there. I just got to get that some room off that back motor mount because it goes up under the rack and pinion. So it slides forward, so that's a good sign. So she should be ready to come out. So let me try to tackle this. And then, like, it's a lot of work. Like I said, you gotta get the fuel lines disconnected, heater core hose is disconnected, which the fuel line is right here. Heater core hose is right here. One of them go to the top of the reservoir. The other one go to the bottom of the reservoir on your, to the heater core. I just left that. But everything else coming with the motor. Should be no more wires connected to anything. But I just got to get that out that back there. So, let me get back to work because I can't do this holding the GoPro. And there you have it. Now I got a big old mess to clean up. So I go edit this video. The engine, this engine hoist is remarkable. I can leave it up in the air all day long, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put it on one of my carts because it's leaking transmission fluid through where the CV axles go. But we have the engine pulled out, which is way easier and way quicker doing it this way than it is gonna be pulling it off that car. Because that car, I'm about to disconnect all the wiring, take the starter off, undo the torque converter, because obviously on that car you cannot pull the transmission and the engine together. That car, you have to do that. You have to drop the cradle, bring the cradle into the garage, and pull the engine and transmission. And I'm not trying to do that. I'm going to say that again when I get into that car, because that car probably will be next after I chop this one up in the next video. Because got to get rid of that car before I start on that one. And it's more parts I might want to keep off there, like ABS module. Already got the airbag. Oh, there go Rich. He over there banging for Chris. But like I said, she's off. So I like y'all can get y'all a parts car that's been wrecked in the front, and it's easier to pull the motor out of it. We just hooked it up, slid it forward, turned it sideways, and she came out like a V8. Still got all the wires on it. Still got the serpentine belt. Everything's still hooked up, but when you go to put it back in, y'all know all this stuff has to come off. The alternator has to come off. This ignition module box has to come off, just so you can squeeze it back into the engine bay. This cross member has to come off. The transmission gonna have to come off, obviously, because I cannot, like I said, you can't get that transmission in there. It's too big to try to get it in there with everything that's in the way, but I can try. But I doubt it. It's a tight squeeze. And you got a transmission mount that goes in here. I will show y'all that. The other engine mount is easy, but that transmission mount that goes in there goes into the firewall. I mean, the frame. The frame rail. And that's kind of doozy to get that off. Is 4 13mm bolts that you have to get off. Then you got to pull this out while wiggling everything around. Like, remember, this transmission has 3 transmission mounts, one in the front, back, and that top one right there. The engine only has 1 mount, and that's right here. And that mount is easy to access because you got to take that mount off anyway when you change the turpentine belt. That has to come off. So that's an easy one. That's why they got these 3 other awkward ones. The other one slides up under there. The other one is in the front. So you see that one slides up under the rack of pinion. So if on the other car, I'm just going to disconnect it from here, those 3 bolts, and leave it mounted to the car. But this is going to be the doozy getting one off that other car. The one in the front was pretty simple on this car because ain't no front end. 3 bolts. One at the top, one on the side, one at the bottom. Pop those on off. Pop the one off in the middle. Slide that one on out. But that's going to be a wrap for this old girl. She's going to be going to the scrapyard after I break her on down, cut her up in little pieces, take the parts I need from her. She's getting filled with water anyway. But basically, we got everything we need. Got to get these door locks, get all the wiring. I'm going to take the dash out. Y'all going to see all that. Take the sunroof out. All this stuff going to come out. All the whole wiring harness is coming out. I don't know if the wiring harness is going to come out that back door. Probably going to take the wiring harness out that back door, take the glass out of it, scrap that. Y'all like, well, you might want to save it. Can't save everything, people. I can't save everything. Don't got to shop. The side glass is already out. We're just hanging on the hinges. I've been got the side glasses out. Probably keep those. I do need this tail light for the black Pontiac Torrent. Already got the little spoiler part off the top. So keep the rear bumper, keep the tail lights. Keep this little piece because they usually always break. Probably keep this gas door. Yep, you got a bolt, keep that gas door too. Tires and rims going on the other car, everything. Aluminum, well, you're keeping that. I'm going to keep the calipers off the front of this car because never know when I might need some. Get that GM badge off of that. Probably keep these door handles because you never know when I might need some. But probably not to keep door handles. I'm kidding. I don't even want the glass. I got enough glass up there. But like I said, that's going to be a wrap for this one. So if y'all enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, still give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Share this video with your friends, family, and co-workers. Consider subscribing to Easy's Rebuilds. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I release a new video. Go copy some merch at teespring.com. We take Cash App donations. We take donations of cars. We might trade a car or two. It's all links in the description area below. Go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Well, I keep saying TikTok, Twitter. And with all that said, people, stay tuned and stay blessed. Deuces!